Hello, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Eva. Let's just start by taking a nice deep sort of grounding breath, grounding into the presence, grounding into the now. This is a very, very deep healing. So just make sure if you're interacting with this that you give yourself really the honor for yourself. To really expand in it, to really, really be in the presence of your true self, of the one self. Use it as a revelation moment, as reunion with the self, as an expansion, but really more than anything else, just a time for you to relax and really honor and meet yourself. You don't have to be doing anything else at this time. It's not wasted time to be with yourself. So in this transmission, there's very many things coming through, but we know that we are at the precipice of a major shift. I can't say what this will look like physically in the world, but I think all areas of life will be affected. We know that there is massive change coming from plasmic energies of the sun in this solar maximum cycle. 3i Atlas is making its closest approach to Earth tomorrow. There's all sorts of planetary, convergence and alignments and all kinds of things. So we can feel this also within ourselves. We could see it playing out on the world stage. But there's a certain energy, 2012, they say, was a big planet. There was a big convergence. There was a big shift at that time. And I believe that the consciousness shift, this evolution has been happening since time began. Since the choice for separation, it has been available to remember. You're always available to remember. But in terms of very large universal cycles, 2012 was significant. And at that time in my life, I was at NYU. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the cartoon Archer, but he is a spy and he has like tactical black turtlenecks and he has a black and a slightly darker black. And I was watching Archer a lot at that time because it was on, I actually think it's still on TV, but I referred to this dark night of the soul as my slightly darker night of the soul. This was abjectly the worst time of my life. But it was also like the most powerful in terms of like awakening to quantum consciousness, seeing like physical structures, like being able to see physics, like really awakening to the purpose of a sort of a different layer of the purpose of why I came. But it was very disorienting and there was a lot of hopelessness, just ideation of not wanting to be on Earth anymore, all kinds of these things. And this is kind of coming up now because I haven't felt, now this is important to sort of clarify. And I so wish more people would see this video, but I know that YouTube doesn't push this kind of thing because I think it would be helpful to so many more people, which is why I do this. In this sort of false matrix ego structure of the physical world of dreams, right now, because of this massive shift that is happening in our collective universal consciousness, we talk all the time about how the ego is built on attack and defense, right? So the ego sort of also ramps up to stop that from happening, to stop remembering, to stop revelation, to stop truth, awareness of the truth. Truth can't be stopped. It tries to stop your awareness of the truth. And so in this collective field, we feel all kinds of doomsday programming, apocalypse programming, economic collapse programming that is like the end of the world, right? It's like, this is awful. And I haven't felt this in the current of like mass, not just the people watching this video, like the collective mass consciousness since 2012. Well, that happened for me before that. It was probably 2009 to 2013, like the entire time I was in college. Anyway, these themes and everything that I was dealing with then has resurfaced in a way that feels like a gut punch. And so I wanted to offer this healing for anyone who might be going through another dark night of the soul. Maybe you have doubt, hopelessness, defensiveness, like out the waz, defensiveness to love, to God, to peace, to love, to purpose, to alignment, to clarity, but also like desperately reaching for those things, right? And so we really want to bring all those things up to the surface, knowing that we are met by God, we are met by the Holy Spirit, we are met by all of our guides in unity. This can be whoever you see for yourself. For me, the Arcturian Collective has been with me since I was a very little girl. They have always reminded me of love. They have always reminded me of home. Not that the Arcturians are my home, but God is our home. The formless, eternal, divine is our home, and they remember this, or this collective of beings where I am meeting them in their timelessness. So maybe that's relevant for you too, but again, all kinds of beings can come forward in this way. Whoever you like to surround yourself with that makes you feel like home, that makes you feel like, oh, I am in the presence of these beings. I know that they are here with me, and so I am not alone. Understanding these beings are parts of self, understanding the sun is yourself, all of the stars are yourself, 3i Atlas is yourself, all of the planets are part of yourself. We are reunifying with self, but there are so many barriers that we've made in between all of these things, and that's why it feels like moving boulders. But it feels like that when you try to do it by yourself. And I have been getting this message for months and months, to sort of really identify your relationship to your healing journey, your relationship to what you think healing means, and your relationship to what you think heals. Only the love of God is real. The love of God is where you are healed. And so to be healed is easy. If you cling to how difficult it is to heal, that is the experience you will have. And there's a subtlety to that which can be difficult for us who have no real unity teachers on earth. And so we're really being called deeper into ourselves, even though it might feel like, because so many things don't feel like they may be aligning for you physically, to go deeper within maybe doesn't feel like the thing to do. Or maybe I have to do all of these things physically in order to make sure I'm safe, make sure I'm sustained, make sure that I have everything I need. We are dependent on God because God is the source of our life. But we reject this and we think we have to do everything ourselves. And my slightly darker night of the soul was so dark because I didn't do that. I was messing around with a lot of metaphysical stuff, a lot of esoteric stuff, a lot of quantum stuff without a really clear channel to the divine. Now, growing up, I was raised Catholic. I felt Jesus with me at all times, even before I think I could come into awareness of what that meant, before I got a name for it. And then Christ started to feel not like a person at all, and that was sort of always with me. But we come into these sort of fracturing moments so that we can be broken open to detach from the illusion of the dream as reality. Those things are unsettling to us. But the faster that we can allow spirit in, because love doesn't come where it's not invited. And so if you're just denying its presence, or you're so distracted by how bad you feel that you aren't allowing God in, you're not allowing love, you're not allowing spirit, source, creator to innervate your life, it becomes very dark because you've inadvertently, and it wasn't your fault. It's not a reason for guilt. We're all learning as we go, and we teach as we learn. So I wanted to provide this opportunity for us all to come together without shame, without guilt, to really let Spirit into our lives, to say, you're not alone. There's nothing your holiness cannot do. You do nothing of yourself. You're not being asked to do anything yourself. You're asked to be quiet long enough and to be willing just enough to allow Spirit in to work miracles through you. Let God work through you. It's nothing that you have to think about to do yourself. You will be shown. But then when our physical lives start to feel like they're falling apart or we can't see ahead, we start to cling and scramble and get desperate about what we see. And that closes us off to Spirit. It doesn't mean that Spirit still can't work through us, but it causes us suffering, and that's not what God would have us be. So we enter into the presence of the holiness at this time. We enter into the presence of God that is where we are, where we have never left. We claim ourselves as the Son of God now. We claim ourselves as Christ as our home now. We don't have to make up for anything first. This is what we are. You know, I think maybe yesterday we talked about these ideas of justice. And again, I'm reminded of something I've been rereading the text portion of the Course in Miracles, and there's a portion where, you know, the Course talks a lot about how judgment is not our role. And the ego has this sort of imaginary structure that you're always being called to the high court, right? And then Christ says in the Course, if you are brought to the high court of Spirit, your case is dismissed. There's no need for it. All of that which is happening here is in a dream. It's up to us to open to God, to feel ourselves as held, as holy, as loving, as loved, as we are, as we were created and as we remain. And if that's what you dedicate yourself to, you must keep choosing. Through the pain, through the desperation, through the fear, you keep choosing. You choose again, choose again, choose again, choose again, choose again. This will be very helpful also for perceived psychic attacks. Again, I've said the ego is built on attack and defense structure. So that is very real within the world. We can perceive it coming from outside of ourselves, from different interdimensional structures. It's very important to truly be free of it. We have to understand that that is a structure that we made, that we've allowed by our belief in it, and so we reveal and clear. So again, just taking nice deep breaths. You are safe. You are healed. You are. And if you are feeling so out of it, so confused, so abandoned, go back to the I am. All throughout your day, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. If you sit in stillness and you just meditated on the I am, the truth would be very clear to you. And again, this idea of the night being at darkest before the dawn. If we feel all of this craziness right now, we know there is change. Nothing remains the same. This is a temporary existence in which all is change. Go back into your awareness of where you are changeless. God does not change. Your nature has not changed. Your ideas of yourself change, but your nature has not changed. The truth does not change. Simisanayana ini tiana yin yan doarai singiataya sandraya korra pushikiritiaka. Sin sandraya suncha kinindria koyu toto yamai. Hinindria takaraya sin chikiri kayas nondroatu. Huyum naur kuin satriatisia. Shin sandrayas noashandayas natri. Hia yakinindo aumna. Hinayanun doyas nindrayai. And I really believe, as I am coming into more and more clarity about this divine feminine aspect of Christ, resurrection to our consciousness, sound so powerful. You don't have to be able to do light language. Using your voice to heal is incredible. Singing, even singing along to your favorite songs. Humming to yourself, toning intuitively, like if I feel a stuckness in some part of my body, where does my body want to tone? Where does that sound want to go? Where does it live in my register? And just like, even if it feels silly, even better if it feels silly, because you're allowing that lightness in. You've stopped taking it so seriously. Kimein so tosh, everything feels so serious, but there is no death. Sintato korruhi natrias nchikinindria tuyum nitriati siki anishinindria tikina. Sindrea orruati siki anishinindria tindia kayash nitrikianayan sotroatikiana. And we invite the great teacher in to remind us of that. Shinaya soso korruhun chaisi. Singiaya torruitam natri. Kinayan sha korruko isi kayaya kinataya korruinata. Kinayana ini trayana rayas dorrukoas noshan. Sinsorruais noshoni kinita rikoyato. Hindarao shinitaya karahata. Hinitrayas notroanam natri kinindria tososoish. Sikina norro hinindri tis natri kinini nionoro uisnitis nindroamna. Haya korruhi tona inis notrois noshon kinindruap torra hati dikoyoson so orruki hinindria tarra itatayas datri kinindratis nandrais sinji kinindrayas noto kinindritis yata. This is very beautiful. There are so many beings here with us. Hini anim noro hini shini kini trindis nondroati shindia torruitis sikian andreatos. Kinayan sondroaini shini kina orruiti korrumni anda hinintin natuin. Hayashini nayan sono araisi nitaya naini kaya. Shianayin satruati kanato amnatrikiani. Shinatraya noro korra kiatu korrokini indria takaya. Huruitis ya uruihi urukua. Shinimanayan nakara. Sianaini tanayin yoto. Shinitoa usin seatikai sitianayani. Kia worruitis norritaya toina, shinikiati kiniti sinsatru, hisitaya shiritia yikiniti, hinitayas nutroin satriator koyasa, shoratayas natrayana umni, hinitayini tayara kiti sitayoshi, sitri kayanamna, yanara roiti kitaya, soro toyosotayo, hunchiriti tarakanainsi, hayakinindria tokarato koya kinatra, sorotaptaoshi kinindraya sotaisi, shin saisi nitiana, yanitoyom noto, itaya soraya sinsha. Kinainsi kinindioto, hinindi kinindritisioto, aritis nindri kini, hin yanan, yanayoso, shita orruitisikia, shimisin sotaya shitiasin, sinitria nindoro koyuson, hinindritis injiritoyo nuin shitritis ingitia toru kinindisin satoa shnitarisiaya. And we talked about this yesterday, but there's a strong message coming through of accepting the healing for yourself first. Give it to yourself. We talk a lot about giving and receiving being one. We receive from the eternal self. We have to give it to our own personality self first. Let it expand in you. Let it change you. Let it be received. Let yourself claim the love that you are and offer it to yourself, understanding that all others are also yourself, but you can't fully teach until you fully accept, because it won't be recognized as yours. You can't give what you don't have. So if you don't believe that you have the love of God within you, how could you give it? Kinindriya tokorrohiti kinindriyatas. Shin sangiri teorrokunindriyatisi. And I feel like a lot of people who feel like they are teachers of God, like they are here to bring and offer this higher consciousness to this realm, that they are conduits for this information, feel such a strong call to share it. This step, this unhealed healer, right? This step cannot be skipped. And so you might be called into stillness. Things might not be, there's many reasons why your life might not be physically landing. I have said this for years. The old world is like, in the sense that death exists in the illusionary world, dying, almost totally dead. You can't ground something in totally dead, like earth, right? If there's no life-sustaining force, if you came to bring life, you can't root it in something dead. So stop trying. That's what God's trying, that's what Source is trying to say, your source. The one self, the self that knows, is trying to say, hey, turn your face away from death. The way is not over there. The way is over here. They can't make you. You have to let them guide you. But it's not like, now I'm seeing like someone hacking through the jungle with a machete, like to find the way. That's not what it is like. Letting them show you is like being course corrected. And there's no shame in that. Don't try to use your body's eyes for what your body's eyes can't see. This is really hard for us because our context can't hold what this is. So when we try to use our imaginations or visualizations that have some kind of context to what we already understand, that's going to be a really, really shaded, not close to what it is representation, because that's not what it is. If you let yourself be led by God, and this is why I always say our relationship to God is the number one thing we should always be working on. Because if you don't believe that you can trust God, if you believe that God will lead you into pain, then you won't follow it. So you have to maintain that relationship every day. Every single day, you have to be in union with God. You have to reunify yourself with God every day, throughout the day, always, until you automatically remember. Which isn't to say it still won't be difficult, but what comes to mind when it is difficult is the way that you get back on, you sort of bring yourself back to the awareness of peace. And then you allow peace to grow from within you. You are not abandoned. You are not abandoned. All of these codes, all of that which comes from me because of what I have committed my life to, which is to know myself as one in God, will bring you, if you allow it, I can't do anything for you that you don't allow for yourself, bring you closer to that also. You can walk with me. We can do it together through what I am offering you. Let the false idea of yourself break down. Let it break. Don't cling to it as it's breaking down because you're afraid that means you're going to be destitute. God will not leave you destitute. It will not. It will not. You have to believe that to receive the benefit of what that belief creates. And because it is informed by God, that is creation. Because it is a loving thought, that is creation. Sin sayishni trianoroku yisin shitayanain. Hinayana oruita oruku insum natrasi. Hiaya kanandra oruku ashnatra. Siato koruiti. Hita orukun chinindrato socorrato. Hikayas natra kinindrikina. Hikaya torrato sotaya tokorokoi kiriatara kiariti shindea torroku. Hindi sin satrua ruiti sikia. Shikinindri tisnatra tuyo no amashinitria si atausi kinindria torrokoye si payash sinisana hinindoro kinindritis nishindayo sot himaini ti atakariti kinidrea suyo shorratos hikayasuno anaini paoro hiriatao shingireati kayas nota si tauruiti nam Hikiasiniti onuyushi, sinin dara ratu koruiti sin sioro aruinain. Amen. We'll end it here. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to go deeper in the work at this time, one-on-ones are live. There are spots still available for tomorrow. I'm not sure about Saturday, but barring anything that happens in the field, I'll be going to New York and New Jersey for Christmas, so live one-on-ones won't be available, but if you want a recorded healing, I will be able to do that there. So you can book in, when am I back in Colorado? The 27th? So probably the 29th, the spots will open again. Tuesday through Saturday, live one-on-ones are available 60 minutes or 30 minutes. Again, recorded healings, personalized healings will be available. Written guidance will be available while I'm back on the East Coast. If you feel like you need help right now. Trance meditations are a great way to dive into this work and to really, really deeply reconnect with yourself. Open the channels of communication. People are always talking about wanting to open their channels. This is a very, very good way to open all channels of light through all of the DNA structures, all through multidimensional time-space, and really, really clear those separation barriers between communication. Love is communication. It is a reunion, a return to love. So thank you all so much. Thank you to all the members of the channel and everybody who likes and subscribes and shares. It really, 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 really helps me out and also makes me very happy. So thank you guys. I love you and I'll see you next time.